There it
What's
is.
going on, boys?
What's going
What's
on?
happening?
It's been a minute.
It has been a little while.
Better late than never.
I know it's all right. We'll be consistent from now. It's a bit easier.
Mr. International over there. Oh, what the fuck?
It was fucking crazy. And like you can't even put it into words, eh?
Yeah, I was
Like
very
it's just yeah, it's just someone else. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, the
It's
FOMO
fucking
was
crazy. Yeah. It was fucking I don't even know where to start. You need to ask more specific questions because
well, I'll talk about my end of things anyway. Every year I watch the Olympia and I'm like, oh, nah, next year the stream will be better. And the stream was still fucking dog shit.
yeah.
So I was pissed off. I paid like 110, $120 for it and it was still shit.
yeah.
Um, that's why I was like at finals, I was like, oh, I think Hardy's winning because in the stream,
Yeah.
Hardy looked fucking peeled out of his mind and everyone else looked a little bit
Yeah.
soft because he has like that extra little bit of 3D detail. But yeah, the more I saw, obviously, Samson was like fucking pretty undeniable. But yeah, the stream pissed me off, but I can imagine it was a lot better live in the flesh.
Like
Yeah, of course.
it wasn't that bad. It was just so dark that you
Mm.
couldn't
It
see.
always is. It makes Samson and Andrew like look like silhouettes.
Yeah. Like especially in the like when they were in the lineup, when they'd go close in on them, it was fine. But like when they'd move around and they'd have a long like a wider shot, you couldn't see any of the dark guys.
Yeah, and well, yeah, that was true. Like the black guys got shafted on the
Yeah.
stream, and then there was just so many dead spots as well, like in between divisions, in between lineups. It's like I was listening to Fuad's podcast, and they were talking about how they should have like people running around backstage doing interviews, like
They need
filling
something
these
to fill.
awkward gaps
Yeah.
because it's like you're sitting there and it's just like this background noise, a background music, and then they'd show like an advert for something like so
The
like
advert would start at like the most random time when like Bob was introducing the next category. I'm like,
yeah.
motherfucker, I'm missing out.
So there's a few production things that could be a lot better, but um, I suppose Josh, like, did it live up to expectations or did it surpass expectations? I suppose it probably surpassed. Josh is out.
Frozen.
Pretty, it was pretty underwhelming, according to Josh.
You know what else annoys me though with like the filming? Like they need to tell these like cameramen that we don't need any fancy angles.
Yeah,
Like I just need like the five guys in one line.
yeah. Just give me
At
five guys.
a distance, I don't need you coming out from like under their glutes.
Yeah,
Hand.
no, like it. It looks cool for like a few seconds, but it doesn't need to be any more than like a few seconds. Like you want to see 90% of the time, like you just want the lineup.
Yeah,
Because otherwise, like us, the viewers at home, like
we're
we
missing
want
out.
to try and get involved. We want to try and judge the show. Like, oh, I have him here, I have him here, but you can't see that if half the time that you're watching these guys, we're only looking at two of them close up.
Yeah, but
Is Josh back? I think he's
Am I
back.
back?
Yeah, you're back.
you're back.
We're all
Okay.
good.
Before
I
you
was
go
just
through this.
I was just asking you, like, did it live up to your expectations being there live in the flesh?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Fucking, it was crazy. It's like, yeah, like, because obviously in like the main theater for finals, they had like, obviously everyone was on stage, but they had like two massive screens like either side, and they were like, obviously like direct feed. So it wasn't like the live stream, like it was direct, like the bit, like best quality you could, like it looked like you were looking at something in real life, like on these screens. So it was like, that was handy as well for like, if you weren't like super close, that you could just look up to screens and you're seeing exactly what you're seeing in person anyway.
Yeah.
It was fucking, yeah, it
How
was
is
awesome.
it? How is it viewing it in person?
Prejudging, like finals was like cool because it was like a show more so than anything. So it was really cool to watch, and waiting for the awards are like obviously really cool as well, and seeing what the results are, and seeing everyone's reactions, and then seeing the kind of final call outs with open as well, and the battles and kind of who they move around was like really awesome. But like prejudging because it's at the expo hall for like classic and everything was just like another level. And because we were like super close, we were like 4, 5 rows behind the media pit. So we were really fucking close. And it was like, I'll speak for Classic, but like they obviously bring everyone out. Those 54 Classic competitors, I think it was 54 or 56. And obviously, Chris is always the last one to come out of that line. And then when he came out, when they were just doing like the numerical call outs, the whole fucking place just like roared. Like it was like Ramon came out in like the third or fourth numerical call out. The place went crazy. Urs came out at some point, like, and then just when Chris came out, the whole place just went fucking berserk. And it was just like insane. Like it went crazy. Um, and then even when he came out for his obviously his individuals as well, like it went crazy. Oh, it's just fucking yeah, like the atmosphere of the place was fucked and it just got packed really quickly. And it was just, you look behind you and there's just a sea of people.
That's wild.
So
Like you can feel
yeah, it was like
the TV when you're watching him walk out. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, man. Like, it was just like another level of like, yeah, like what you see online is what I think he's better in real life personally than what you see online. Like to me, like it was close between him and Mike, but when you look at it, you're like, it's Chris's. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was just like that another level of like detail, and just like the density that he has as well. It was kind of just like, oh, it's just kind of like it's all to me, like it was obvious to me, but you could make a case for Mike,
Yeah.
So
It-
he's far better in real life. Yeah,
you could definitely see how Mike pushed him.
bro.
Definitely
Yeah,
certain shots.
yeah.
But like you said, I don't think at any time I was like, I don't know if Chris is got this because it's not like it was a bad Chris or an off Chris. It was like Chris was still fucking on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw a lot of people saying that this was not the best Chris, but then I've seen some photo comparisons, and I'm like, it still looked a little bit better than last year. So I just
I think
think
it
the
was better. I think
competition's
it's
getting
probably
better.
yeah.
Yeah, you
I
go.
think it was on par with 22 the first year he worked with Harney. I would say it was probably on par with that, which is like my favorite look of his. So I thought it was fucking awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
What
But
about how did Urs look in person?
fucking massive.
Yeah.
Like he came out and I was like, this dude is huge. Like, is this a normal thing? Like, or is this just like what he's just looking like today? Because yeah, then you put him next to Chris, and I'm like he doesn't give up much size. Like he's as tall as Chris, like near on, like
Mm.
he's fucking he's a big man. Like,
Yeah.
we saw him like it's funny because I was talking to Tony at the Starbucks and I was like leaning on the rail and Oz was like sitting like right in front of me. And like you see him walking around and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, like you're about as big as I expected you to be. But then when he came out on stage next to everyone else, I was like, fucked. Like, yeah, it looked absurd.
Because I always
Um,
thought he was like on his weight cap, but he obviously wasn't that close to the weight cap beforehand, unless he's just somehow fucking gotten
I,
way bigger or somehow gotten way more shredded. Like,
I saw some like comparison photos of him to I think it was last year,
mm,
and it seemed like his legs were a little bit smaller. So
yeah.
whether he's backed off training legs and then his upper body's just blown the fuck up, and that's like compensated in his weight.
I
that's
think he needed to do that. I
Yeah,
think he needed to do it. It was the best
yeah,
case
yeah.
scenario.
Well, I think Stefan switched on it. I mean, he can see that he was a little bit bottom heavy, and like if he is close to the cap, and you can lose a kilo, maybe even 2 kilos off the lower half, and put it on the back came up a shit ton, and his arms came up a shit ton.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He was
and
really impressive. The only thing that let me down with him was his tan.
yeah, his tan was really bad at finals.
It was really bad at prejudging as well.
Really?
yeah. I didn't think it looked. I mean, like I said, I'm only judging from the stream, but I didn't think at prejudging and a lot of the photos that I saw as well, it necessarily did him a disservice. Like
I
I
didn't
think.
notice anything of prejudging,
Yeah,
but
prejudging it wasn't great.
It wasn't dark enough, but I don't think it resulted in him looking less detailed from what
Yeah.
I saw. Um, if that's all it is, though, and if he comes back next year a little bit bigger in those areas that he's already grown and comes in with a fucking decent tan, I think it's between him and Mike.
Yeah.
yeah, like I said
Well,
to you,
I think Ramon's going to win next year.
nah, fuck, I hope not.
I think he's made too many mistakes this year. He's not my favorite either. Like I think he's
Yeah.
out of balance. He's a little bit more in balance now, and after seeing him in person, he's kind of won me over a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but I still think he doesn't flow as well as the other guys, and his arms are far too big.
Yeah.
But
I
he
don't
was one of those guys.
physique either.
Pardon?
I'm not a huge like. Don't get me wrong. He's obviously incredible physique, much better than mine. I can't. It's not like I'm down discrediting his physique, but in that top five, he's probably my least favorite physique.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah.
looking at things, in a subjective sport, which it is. Yeah, his forearms are just too fucking big. Like
Yeah.
his forearms are like they just throw me off.
Yeah.
I like his midsection. It's really cool because like he can pull a vacuum and his abs are still really like blocky and it looks cool. But it's a very different, like it's apples and oranges between like him and Mike and him and Urs even. It's a very different, almost cartoonish looking physique, which usually I like that type of stuff, but for one reason or another, I'm just not a huge fan. But yeah,
It's like it's because everyone says that you can't have arms too big, but this is like a case of you just can. Like they're far too big, and I think it's probably not so much as biceps and triceps. It's just forearms. It just throws them off.
yeah.
But like I'm not gonna lie to you that he came out in the numerical comparisons, and I was like, nah, like he's fighting, like he's got to be battling Chris here because he like blew me away, like beyond expectations of what I thought he would. Because like I said, I'm not like a huge fan, but he came out and I was like, he was like I put that iPhone video that I put on my story the other day. Like he was fucking peeled, like inside out. But then from whatever happened, they did numericals. He was on when he came out for individual, and then as soon as they came out for like call outs, he just started fading and sweating and stressing really bad. And then
Sweating was
he
bad.
just felt bad.
Did
Yeah,
did he
I
start
felt really bad for him.
sweating? At which point did he start sweating? Was that as soon as they came out, or did he start sweating after?
After, so in the actual call outs.
Okay, so he must have been off before the sweating then, because I thought the sweating was.
He was on. I thought he looked fantastic, but like he
Mm.
must have had like a layer of like water over him, for him to be sweating that much. But he came out for individuals. I was like, man, he looks great. He looks super dry, but it's the same. Like I've never seen him before, so I don't know what to compare that look to. Like
That's really
might have been
odd,
holding
though. I was going to say that's really odd to see someone like that who has never sweated in the past just fucking piss sweat. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was.
they forget to take any salt in the morning or something. Like what?
I saw video
Wrong.
again of the Brazil Olympia on
Yeah,
the weekend. He started sweating again.
Okay.
yeah. I don't
So
understand it.
yeah, it's weird. I don't know what he could be doing or what he's not doing, but yeah, I don't know, man.
Did you? Is he going to Hani?
Who?
Mm,
Come on. Did you guys see
I
that?
would.
Maybe I'm fucking seeing things, or
I
maybe it
hope
was just a
so.
comment that,
Fucking
that
wicked.
seemed believable. But yeah, if he went to Hani, that'd be funny.
who's he work with now?
Aceto.
Chris.
Oh,
Yeah.
does he? No shit. How badly did Wesley tank?
He came. I'm so fucking brutal because I dislike his physique.
Ah,
But he came out, and I won't say who was sitting. I'll tell you guys after. But he came out, and the person who was sitting next to me, you both know him. He was like, he's very high up. He was like, he's fucking shit. He's gonna be like seventh or eighth. Literally ended up in eighth. Like called it straight away. He called it when he came out in numericals, and I was like, yeah, like I agree. Like he just doesn't have.
Legs.
Like, yeah, there's just nothing there. Like, there's just his lower body was that bad, and like it was bad from the front. And then when he turned around, I'm like, there's nothing there. Like, there's no gluten hamstring at all. Like, yeah, he came up for numericals. I was like, yeah, this is like seventh, eighth place. Like, you put him next to like any of that top five, and he's just gonna get fucking dwarfed.
And I think because his quads, they don't sweep at all. When he turns around, they just look straight. And
Yeah.
everyone else in that top 10 has sweeping legs. Like they almost look
Yeah.
fucking robotic or something. It's just like it's just not put together very nicely from the waist down. I think even if he got really big, it would improve for sure. He'd still be better, but the shape of those quads, it's just
Yeah,
like
I don't. I think he's in an awkward spot that even if he does put on, let's say he puts on 5 kilos, right? Where is it going to be added to that's going to improve his shape?
he'd
Yeah.
have to do the opposite of Urs. And
Yeah, it'd all
Yeah.
have to go to his legs.
yeah.
It all have to go to his hamstring and glutes because his quads are never going to sweep the the way we're talking about.
No.
A side note on Wesley, I don't know if you guys saw the podcast with Fuad and Stefan. Stefan was saying that in his off season, Wesley will be eating like 5,000 calories, and then the lowest his food will go to in prep will be 4,000.
Fuck.
Like, that's fucked, hey?
Wait,
Imagine
I
not-
didn't get to that bit in the podcast.
Yeah, he was
Wait, was that
talking.
the?
Yeah, the one that he did like yesterday or 2 days ago.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention then.
Yeah, he was saying Wesley like in his off season 5,000, but like right at the end of prep 4,000. I'm like, that's fucking. Imagine being that eating that much food right at the end of prep. That's fucked.
Yeah, I don't know. If he's doing a lot of cardio, I'd rather be taking away food at that point.
Yeah. Well, he's certainly not like he's not like he comes in soft. His physique is just not particularly balanced.
No, not at all.
Should we go through the predictions?
We're going into it.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Get that over and done with. Nay wants to know how well.
I'm fairly certain I didn't win, but I just would like to see how far off the ball.
Well, look,
I was.
at least you got to keep it. That's at least you got to keep in 10th.
Yeah, he was good.
I'll
He was
get the
fucking
ball.
good, man.
I'll give it to
He
him.
he wasn't good. He was 10th place.
10th place in the world is pretty fucking good in my opinion.
Yeah, but we're talking about our bet. So.
Well, he was fucking spot on for my bet, so I don't know about you. And he was also like peaked perfectly. He was in condition. His just back is just not put together very nicely.
All right. Here we go. Let's go.
All right, so you do yours. We'll do the scores. We'll do
Yep.
do yours first, Jordy.
All right. So
So 0. Yeah. 1 for Derek. 1 for Hardy. 1 for Andrew as well.
1 for Martin.
Ooh, he's doing well.
Hunter was 6, so 0.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You've got Rafa. You've got 1. Fucking hell. And 1 for Brandon as well.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. 4?
3?
Well, he was 12th, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And then Jewett was 11th, so 1.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad.
That's
So that's
pretty
what? So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 10.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's going to be hard to beat.
All right.
Fucking Derek.
2 for Dom.
Already lost.
1.
1.
Yeah.
1. Was it 2?
Brandon was 9th, so you 3.
Was he 9th?
Yeah.
He was bad.
1?
Hunter was 1. Yeah. Rafa was.
I had Akeem in 9th.
Bang on, 0 for Rafa.
0 for Rafa.
You had Akeem in 9th. Fuck, that's even worse.
That's even worse.
Oh, I had to move him up because fucking Nick pulled out. That's right.
John was 12th, so 2.
2.
I think it was like 12, 13.
9, 10, 13.
Shithouse.
All
Josh, you had Akeem in 10th. You should be having the last laugh here.
Oh, you guys changed that, surely.
What do we change?
Did I? No, I did not put Akeem in 10th.
You did. You went in
No
and
way.
yourself.
Did I actually?
Yeah. We've got the screenshots.
No way.
I've got the receipts.
I did actually put Akeem in 10th. Fuck.
You shouldn't be saying this because he finished in 10th. You should be happy.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Prediction, boys, you know.
Hey, you've done well here.
I think Josh has it.
I think Josh has
Hunter
it.
was 6th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Rafa was 8th.
Eighth.
So
That's
1.
1.
It's basically
One
the
on
same
one.
as Jordy.
Brandon was what?
1.
1.
1.
John Della
John might fucking be 3.
3.
and 0.
Akeem was
Got it.
Whoa, it's going to be close. 5, 9.
9.
7, 8. Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
Akeem for the win.
Do nays. Do nays.
Saved
You want to know.
you.
Oh. They will want to know her, so we're going to do nays.
I can't believe none of us put
we
back
didn't
in the
put-
top 10. That's a disgrace.
Nay didn't put in for Nick.
So that's 10 points.
That's 10 points.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's 10 points because He's 16th DNF.
Well, she knew that he pulled out, so that was her responsibility to get that
On
vote.
her.
All right, well, 0, 0, and 0.
Fuck, she was on a
But
roll.
again, she was 0 again.
No,
Well,
one.
no, 1, sorry. 1,
One.
1,
10.
10.
10. She's going to be so fucked off with us.
She would have won.
One. She would have won.
Yes.
What was it?
1, 2,
2,
Bro.
2.
2.
Yeah, she would have won for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Damn, that's crazy.
She 8. So she would have been on 8, excluding Nick. So she might have won. She might not have, though. Josh, 9 is pretty good. I don't know if she would have beaten that. Because then if she would have probably moved everyone else up 1, so therefore you still would have won.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Good
Good stuff.
We'll take that.
Hang on. I was just going to say, what did Ruby do? Because she had Bonac in there instead of Della. So I don't know, fucking. But Brandon at 6 might have killed her.
2, 1, 1, 10.
Well, yeah. Nick really fucked it for everyone.
Brandon was 8th.
Yeah.
9th, wasn't he?
9, sorry.
3. Oh, and Martin at 8th fucked her big time.
Fucked her up.
2. Wait.
Yeah, he was 7th.
8th, wasn't he? Bonac?
I'll check. He was 7th.
7th. Oh, Rafa was 8th.
Yeah, Rafa was 8th.
Yeah.
No boy.
Damn.
She didn't do that well.
Let's
no.
Do we do the classic or we'll come back to classic? We'll go through the.
Yeah, we'll come back to it.
Come back.
Oh, should we unpack the Nick story?
Oh, yeah.
Last week when we chatted about it, it was like it had literally just come out, and we were kind of in the camp of, oh, he's probably pulled out for health reasons.
Well, that was
like pretty.
I wanted to give the benefit of the doubt, and just give him some leeway, but now it's not seeming like that was the case, and everything else has happened with Brett leaving and Sean, Justin. But it really all started after Quinton YouTube video.
Yeah.
That kind
Quinton
of
went in.
Put the wind in the sails on it all.
I'm like half and half on this because, like, I don't know, I get why Quinton's annoyed, but like if every person put up a video when their coach fucked up, like there'd be videos every single day.
But I'm also like, okay, Quinton, your shit happened back in May.
Yeah, why'd you do this then?
Why? Yeah, like you had all this time to do it now, and now you're doing it when, okay, Nick's pulled out, and like, all right, there's question marks around that, whether he should or shouldn't have, or what's really going on. And Sean had Sean's still got second in the world. It's
At 44 years old.
Yeah, it's not a fucking bad result. We're talking.
I don't look at what happened with Sean as a bad thing by any means.
Keon just is a freak.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think even Sean at his best would have beat Keon.
No.
Yeah.
No way.
No way. So I'm sort of like, Quinton, why now? You kind of just time this in a way.
So I think with Quinton, he was gaslit at the time, and he was fucking destroyed online, and everyone was pointing the finger at him.
Yeah.
And at the time, that's the way it seemed. So he's kind of like, fucking told you so, basically. So that's why he's waited until now. And I get it, but people obviously need to be able to divulge the situation and not be like, he's obviously emotionally involved and invested in this whole situation. Yeah. The rest of us are just fucking viewers having a laugh at some drama. Like it's not that deep, and
with the whole Quinton thing, like if you're going to come out and say things, like he's still stepping on eggshells when he's explaining everything that happened with Matt. Like if you're going to out the guy, out him and show everything.
Yeah.
Like show the points where you thought this was going wrong. Show the points where he said you had fake gear, or
Mm.
show the points where anything was going wrong, where you had any questions at all, and show your receipts. Don't just come out now and like walk on eggshells and this is what happened to me, and now this is what's happened to the rest of them. It's like Matt's been
Yeah.
the top coach for the past how many years?
Yeah.
Yeah, he misses 1 year.
1 year, and everyone wants to like shoot on him. Like he still hit the mark with Brett.
This is
Yeah.
why it's so important as an athlete. The responsibility is on you to give feedback. Like if things are not progressing the way that you expect them to, don't just stay quiet and be like, well, I trust you 100%. I will do exactly what you say. Like that's not how it works.
Yeah.
No.
And like there needs to be a collaborative relationship unless you completely do like just don't trust any of your own opinions, which obviously he does because he's coming out pretty strong at this point in time. Like that was still his fault because he didn't communicate properly back then.
Yeah.
And obviously, yeah, he obviously looked the same, if not worse, than what he did.
And look, Matt's come out and said that he probably wasn't as attentive as he should have been, and his focus has been in other aspects and whatever else, and focusing more on personal life and his personal goals with the triathletes and everything else, which is fine. But I also don't think he has to come out and defend himself.
No, I don't think so.
I do think it's pretty unfair the way that he's been attacked. I think it would have been a little bit differently if they didn't do the video the way that they did with Nick,
Yeah.
because I think that video made it seem like it was only Matt's call, that he wasn't ready, and I don't want to put him on stage not at his best.
Yeah.
And the fact that we haven't heard anything from Nick since then really about it either, I don't think helps Matt's situation. So
Well, I was watching Guy's post. I don't know if you saw Guy's rant.
Yeah,
He was
I
saying
got
that
halfway through that.
he was saying that Nick tore his hamstring, and that's why he pulled
Again.
out.
Again.
Well, I don't know, but
I
that's
thought he was just referring to last year.
oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. I think he was
But
referring.
like, like, I get that Quinton's annoyed, like I said, but it's kind of like yeah, like you said, Jordy, like if you're going to say something, you have to back it up all the way and give receipts and stuff. But to make a whole video about him and like rip into the dude pretty hard online, and then I saw a story of his like a couple of hours ago where he's like, "Oh, I saw Matt's post and I wish him the best of luck with his family." It's like you've just torn into this guy online,
Yeah.
and now you're trying to play like the nice guy. If I was Matt, I'd be like, get fucked. Like,
you're
what are you
sitting there online all day bragging about how all this has happened because of you doing this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
which is it? I feel like I'm fucking watching a high school fucking schoolyard, and it's like King Dick's walking around like, I've done all this, but now I want to be best friends with the guy that I've ripped into.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't think that's ever happening. I think that bridge is well and truly burnt down.
But it should not have gotten to, like, I don't know, maybe I just view things differently, but if I have an issue with you, I'm going to talk to you and not go on social media and make a video about it. Not 5 months later.
No.
Regardless of what has happened since then, I can sit there and be like, oh, look, the same thing happened with me or whatever. It doesn't achieve anything.
No.
I think to play devil's advocate, I think I'm going to assume that Quinton had that conversation with Matt, and that's what he was saying. Like he was gaslit to say Matt just told him that his drugs must have been fake or whatever. Because I think Quinton was just looking for a sense of Matt taking accountability or taking responsibility for what had happened, and he kind of made it seem, oh, it wasn't my fault, it was this. So Quinton, decided to double down on it and just go fucking fuck yeah, I'm going to try and ruin your reputation, which doesn't really fucking matter anyway, because Matt's number one source of income is obviously the supplement company.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw what Brett was saying. Even Brett was like, he was coaching me for free, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel. I don't really like seeing people come out and saying this guy was coaching me for free, because it's like I know that he wasn't fucking coaching everyone else for free. But yeah, it is what it is.
I think like I think I also get a little bit annoyed when, like, Tom, you know this, when like somebody have just said, well, this coach is known for that. It's like, so they're a bad coach, rah, rah, rah. It's like Matt's has people have said for ages that Matt is, quite, known for quite high drug usage, which is fine. But if you know that
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
go use said coach, you
Yes.
can't fucking complain about that
Can't
after.
complain.
Like,
No.
you have gone into that willingly knowing that that is a reputation that someone has, which look, it's not the end of the world. That's just a part of his coaching style. It is what it is. Like Matt is known for that. It's not like Matt produces slop on stage. Like he's got some of the fucking best bodybuilders in the world. And as we know that you have to do shit that sometimes you probably don't want to do in
But
order
look,
if you want to get to that next level.
before this year happened, or before even it happened with Nick earlier this year, whenever we'd speak about Matt, it would always be Matt always hits the mark.
Yeah.
No one said otherwise.
Yeah.
Even when Sean lost last year, no one threw blame at Matt. It was Keon just showed up.
Yeah.
And I don't see what the difference was this year. Sean showed up better than he was. Maybe he was a little bit downsized, but they played the condition game. Keon, and like we said in earlier podcasts, we said if Keon comes in on, no one can get past him. And Keon fucking slammed the door the moment his foot hit the stage.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Sean was never going to beat Keon, like
yeah,
not in years, unless Keon came in soft, but she didn't. So
yeah,
that's no knock on Matt. I think what's happened is like in hindsight, Matt probably should have taken a step back from coaching a year ago. It's kind of like when you see any kind of professional athlete and they're at the end of their career and they're umming and ahhing about retiring and they decide to go for one more year and they completely shit the bed and people go, oh, that's a massive knock on his career, but it doesn't undo all of the good work and it doesn't undo, those 5, 6, 7 years that he had coaching high level athletes right at the very top.
So
Because
now,
I mean, to be fair, he brought Brett in like fucking extremely well a couple of weeks ago. So it's not as though he's missed the mark on every single athlete this year either.
not at all. That's what, like, has he really had that bad of a year? Like, okay, Nick wasn't his
Compared to
best.
yeah.
Yeah, but like, okay, Nick wasn't his best, but he was still good enough to win. Brett
Yeah.
wins. Sean comes back better, like we just said. Keon was just that fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Quinton's really the only one that he really shit the bed on.
Yeah.
There wasn't anyone else.
I was,
Yeah.
watching when Fuad was kind of putting a lot of the blame on Matt. I was kind of like, no, like this has like it's
So like
50-50.
I can understand Fuad's point of view, like with the Nick situation, and this is where we don't have answers with what happened with Nick. We still don't know.
Yeah.
Like, was it just you're not where I need you to be, you don't look good enough, you're not on stage?
I was told that he just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So then I can put part of that blame onto Matt.
Yeah, for sure.
That one easily. But
again,
part of that goes on to Nick as well.
yeah, if you're behind, you communicate with your coach and say, look, like I'm only doing fucking 30 minutes of cardio. Like, what can we do here? Can we pump this up? Can we drop food? Like, do you need a deload? Do you need a refeed? Like, something needs to change,
The caveat with the Nick situation, though, is like we all know Nick is all in. Like he moved back to Florida so Matt could see him. Matt sees him regularly. They're very close. It's not like they're just doing an online check-in. Like Matt would look at him multiple times a week. So at some point from like 8 weeks out, you need to know whether he's on or not.
I just think they knew he wasn't going to place in the top 3, and they just thought, "Fuck, let's not ruin his reputation. He's the third best bodybuilder in the world, and let's not put him up on stage and risk that because if he comes up on stage looking less than his best, he's going to be 5th, 6th, 7th, and in their eyes, he's never going to recover from that."
Yeah,
that's what I think. I just think he wasn't looking good enough, and he decided that it's going to be too much of a knock on my reputation to roll up looking like shit.
Now,
Like I was told that and I've heard that as well. So it's just like around the whole weekend, you just hear shit,
So should he have just competed?
Yeah. If that was all it was, I mean, it's hard because I'm like, this is his career, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think if we saw the Nick that showed up in New York, I think he would have been 5th.
Oh, I think he would have been worse than that. I think
Really?
Hunter would have beaten him. And I think you could make a case for Andrew as well, because those two are flip-flopping. I didn't think Nick at New York was very good at all.
I don't think he was great in New York either, but I think his condition was still like his level of detail from behind is still gnarly.
Yeah,
And
you
like
are
that's
right.
Andrew's weak point. And Hunter is very inconsistent with his midsection, which is Nick's weak point too. Like Hunter walks out and he hits the vacuum, and you're like, fuck, he's in it. And then all of a sudden he can't hit that vacuum anymore.
Yeah, and then it
Yeah.
looks sloppy.
And yeah, and then it's washed out.
But
So
that's just it though. Like worst case scenario, let's say worst case scenario, probably seventh behind Hunter and um, Andrew.
that's a hit.
Yeah,
That's a
It's
hit.
pretty bad. It's bad. It's bad for him.
This
it is
when
bad,
he's
but
not a top 7 bodybuilder.
Yeah, but this is the question now. So they're being, let's say there's a change of guard with them putting Samson as the winner this year, and let's say they're going more towards that sort of shape now. We're going a little bit more aesthetic, but still a massive guy. Does that go and now push Nick into that fourth or fifth spot, regardless? Because Samson's shape, Hardy, however much longer he's there, still has a nice shape. Derek has shape, and then you've got guys like Martin and Andrew coming up that are on the shape side.
Yeah.
Like Nick really does become the odd one out.
I still think Nick at his all-time best is still good enough to be in the top three.
I think so.
And that's coming from someone who's not a huge fan of his physique. I still think if he comes in at his all-time best, like that Arnold that he won, was it 2022 maybe? Like that to me is still better than Derek. I think Derek was quite pretty average at this show. I think he could have been third if that was Nick at his best. But
Like
I've said this because Josh can probably back me up on this. I don't think Nick will ever win an Olympia. I just don't think his shape is just not good enough.
I think it's becoming more and more difficult each year that passes. Like I think it's very dependent on who he stands next to on stage. Like when there was one point where they had Derek in between Samson and Andrew, and I was just like, "Holy fuck, Derek, you're not there this year."
Yeah.
And it was just because he was of who he was standing next to. Then when you moved them around and it was back to Samson, Hardy, and Derek, you're like, okay, maybe you still are there. But in between those two, with those shape, the height, and the size that they had, I'm like, fuck, man, how do you even compare?
Yeah, but Andrew from the front is Mr. Olympia. Then from the
100%.
side of the back, he's like fighting for 10th place just about, which is why he ends up fifth, whatever it was.
They almost made Derek look like he didn't have shape. You know what I mean? Standing in the middle of those two.
I thought Derek would be way more impressive. I was expecting to like be there and be like, as soon as like Derek came out, for him to be one of the guys that just like stood out. But when he came out, I was like, yeah, he's pretty good. He's good. He's great. But
Look,
I was like, I expected him to like blow me away.
I was the same on the stream. Like even though the stream quality was difficult to see, when he walked out, I wasn't blown away. I was like, okay. Like
it sucks because I'm a huge fan of Derek, and for one reason or another, like he just looks so imbalanced. Like his upper body has grown significantly. Like his arms, his back's obviously great, but like his arms have grown a lot. His shoulders have come up, and the thing is his chest and shoulders still need to keep growing, but his legs need to grow tenfold. Like
he needs to do an ERS, like the opposite of what
I think he's starting to get the same issue that Nick has, where his legs are just looking short now.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not a pretty look. Like the bigger especially in a front double now, like the bigger that upper body like gets, like his legs just look shorter and shorter.
Yeah, I agree. I think as a silhouette is concerned, like his upper body's too big. But then if you look at body parts in isolation, like we've always said, chest detail needs to be better. Shoulder separation could be a bit better. But then if he keeps growing, then his legs are only going to be further and further behind. So he needs to just fucking focus on bringing back the balance, because his ceiling is still very high and he's still relatively young.
Yeah, he's on the younger
He's
side.
just 30.
I just think he's just had a year where he probably grew where he didn't need to grow. And
Oh, I wanted to ask this before we get too far off the map thing.
Mm.
Do you see his guys working with now? Like, who do you see Brett going to? Where do you see Nick going? What does Sean
I
do?
think I think Brett will probably go to Stefan just because
Stefan.
of
Yeah,
Martin.
I think that's an obvious one.
I think a few of them will go to Stefan, to be honest.
I'm going to make a random prediction and say Nick will go to Patrick Tour.
Really?
I
I
just
don't see that.
so he's been training with Mike Israetel, which is very evidence based.
Yeah,
So I think he's either going to go to like a Stefan or a Patrick or someone who's a little bit more like scientifically minded, who's a bit more evidence based. And I don't know why, but I have a feeling like I don't see Nick as being that person to go with Stefan because he might want to be that guy that doesn't go with the crowd.
do you
So
guys
that's like that leaves me with Patrick.
you remember when Nick left Matt the first time
Yeah, and
and
he went
he
to that
went
dom.
with that, yeah, that like out of left field, no one would have seen coming.
Yeah.
Does he do something like that again and just
Yeah.
find some fucking random guy? Well, that's not random, but like random to us. He's not a big name, and just
Yeah.
be like, yeah, this is my guy.
I don't think so.
So you reckon he'll go with someone like someone known, but like random for him?
I feel like it's going to be someone that he. I think a lot of it for Nick is going to be someone that he trusts and or feels he can have some sort of like relationship with. I think that's big for Nick. So whether he has that someone already, but I feel like Nick is one of these guys that he needs his coach in person.
Yeah, I can see that. My thing
Yeah.
with Patrick is I know that Patrick's very strict with like eating, overall like off-season discipline, and I know that Nick is like, well, he's locked in the
Yeah,
off.
it wouldn't be a change for Nick if he did.
Yeah, but I hear you when you say that. I think he does like having that face-to-face connection. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. I do think Patrick would be a really good fit for someone like Nick.
Now that you've mentioned it, I could sort of see Patrick being a good option.
Well, I mean, apart from Harney, like Stefan and Patrick are probably the other two that kind of top three echelon of world class bodybuilding coaches, where half the lineup's just about their athletes. So I'm like, fuck, that's kind of an obvious ish selection. I can't really think of too many others. Like, he's not going to go to a Chris Aceto. He's not going to, maybe
I would be shocked if Arnie takes on anyone else
same.
Yeah.
because he wants people in his company as well.
Yeah.
Like Chris is obviously the exception because he's Chris, but
Yeah.
like, but like he wants if he's gonna take someone on, like he'll want to have them a part of the whole thing, you know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much heat they'd cop or Nick would cop if you went to like a Chad Nichols?
I was just
Yeah.
chatting. That'd be wild.
Oh, I don't think he would. I just.
I
I
think
don't
Chad's a
think
bit phased out.
Yeah.
Chad's a bit phased out.
All right, back to the Olympia. What do we think of Hardy?
He was really good from the front, but then from the back he looked a bit meh.
Was he
Not
downside?
meh. I don't know. It's hard, but obviously it's my first time seeing all these guys in person, so it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
Like if I was watching the live stream, I might have been able to tell more because I've watched the live stream more than I fucking watched it in real life. But he looked good. But yeah, like I said, like before, Derek when he came out, I expected him to like make me go like, "What the fuck?" because of how crazy his shape is. But the person that made me go, "What the fuck?" was Samson, and I didn't expect it. Like I knew he'd look crazy, but I didn't. I was like audibly like, "What? This is fucked." Like what I'm seeing in front of me. He looked fucking massive next to the other guys. They do like a front relaxed when they came out on the line, and he was like taking up like two of Hardy's.
That's mad.
It was ridiculous.
So I just did a Google. I just wanted to see how old Hardy is. He's 37.
Yeah.
And
He
he
said the name,
turns.
didn't he?
Sorry, he only just turned 37. So, like, his ceiling is pretty well there. Like, he's not.
Just Iranian. So
Yeah, like I don't think he's going to get much worse over the next few years. But I don't see how he can get much, much better. I think we've kind of seen it over the past 3-4 years with Hardy. He's very consistent. Like his best and his worst are pretty like they're not very far apart. When he's at his all-time best, like he's really good, but I still think all-time best Hardy struggles to beat Samson. I don't know.
Yeah,
You've changed.
it'd just be. Yeah, I don't know. I am so biased towards Samson's physique that I find it difficult to see Hardy beating him again. But
Agree.
Samson has to repeat what he brought or improve it to hold
I
on.
think he will. He's
Yeah.
not going to go back.
No.
Now
I
he's.
think
I was just going to say,
I
now he's won. He's won me over as well, and I could see him going on 2-3 in a row.
Yeah.
He just if he keeps improving at the rate that he is, which he is, like he's so consistent. Every time he competes, he just gets a little bit better. His back gets a little bit bigger, and now he can start like looking at individual muscles and being like, okay, you need because I think he needs a bit more delt, like a little bit more delt, a little bit more back, like a little bit tighter next time. He's going to be so fucking hard to beat.
He's so impressive. Like, I just think it's like, I mean, like you know that I've like rooted for Samson for ages as well to win the whole thing. But it's like I think there's something to be said about someone who's trying to prove everyone wrong as well. Like he had like a fucking chip on his shoulder because everyone was talking like shit about his wife as well. Like that's got to be a fierce man going in the gym every single day to like prove everyone fucking wrong and like shut everyone up. Like that's emotionally driven to like another level, you know?
Yeah.
So he just keeps doing that year after year and proving everyone wrong.
How
And
exciting is it that we're going to have a Mr. Olympia that's going to compete regularly?
yeah, that's fucking awesome. When's the last time we had that?
Oh,
Jay, Ronnie.
So who do you think, assuming that Samson is obviously the strong favorite over the next 3 to 5 years, because he's still pretty young, who do you think in that top 10 could push Samson in the next few years or so?
Martin.
Yeah.
I think Martin is probably going to be third or second next year.
Yeah.
I think he's
then,
there. I think he'll beat Derek next year, and I think he'll beat Hardy next year.
Yeah. I don't think Hardy doing multiple shows this year did him any favors. But in saying that, Martin's going to compete a lot too. So
yeah, but Martin's young. He's 27 years old. He's just going to keep growing.
He's fucking 27 years old, man.
Yeah, that's cooked. He's the same age as you. He's probably a little bit younger than you.
He's younger than me.
Yeah, but Hardy is taking time off this year to put all his eggs in the Olympia basket. So I can see.
Well, him and Derek
that
they're out of the Arnold. Him and Derek both said they're out of the Arnold.
Yeah, the thing is, I can still see Hardy and Derek coming in at their all-time best, and Samson still being too good next year.
Yeah.
But that puts Martin in a position where, like, fuck, if they do come in at their all-time best, Martin has to then therefore improve even more, which I still think he's on the trajectory to do so. I'm not sure it will happen next year, but if it doesn't happen next year, probably the year after.
Just so balanced, man.
Oh, he's so good.
I think Martin will beat at least one of them. He'll beat Derek or Hardy next year. He'll crack into that top three, I think. I don't think he's staying in that fourth spot.
Yeah, I could see it.
I see him beating one of them.
Yeah.
I was disappointed with Andrew.
Yeah. Same. Because he still can't hit a side chest properly.
His posing was average. And I think I said it on one of the podcasts, like he doesn't improve on his second show.
No.
He looks good, comes out Texas, blows the doors off the place, and then gets to the Olympia and he's not any better.
So
he's just the same. Doesn't look as good next to everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people have seen him come in to the IFBB so quickly and rapidly rise up to the top. But then I'm guilty of it as well. I forget that he's like 40 or like he's at least 35 to 40. He's not young. He's not Martin. But I was going to ask you, Josh, because it was very close between Hunter and Andrew. Who did you have in that?
I had Hunter, to be honest. Like I don't. as like there's a lot I like about Andrew's physique, but there's a lot I don't like about it, and there's more holes for me than there is not. And so I just had Hunter.
Yeah.
I had Hunter over it. And I thought to me it was pretty clear, but then when they obviously did the results, that wasn't the case. So
Yeah. But what
to
really
be honest, I also had Martin over Derek. So
but a lot of people did.
They did have
yeah,
Hunter over Andrew on prejudging, didn't they?
apparently so. Yeah, I didn't watch prejudging live, so
Yeah.
Hunter was a little bit worse at finals.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was still good enough to be Andrew personally.
It's just the whole like 10-9, 10-7 conversation. Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, like Andrew is winning those front shots like 10-7. It's fucking so lights out. But then Hunter's winning a larger percentage of shots, but by a smaller margin. So it's like, fuck, apples and oranges. But what really pisses me off with Andrew is that you have so many people that don't understand bodybuilding in the comments section speaking every fucking year that Andrew should be Mr. Olympia because they see a front double bicep and they see a front lat spread and they think that's Mr. Olympia, which don't get me wrong, it is Mr. Olympia quality, but you've got a side chest, you've got a back double bicep, you've got a rear lat spread, you've got all these other fucking shots that he's not very good in. And yet you have these numpties who've watched 2 bodybuilding contests their entire life think that he should be Mr. Olympia, and it fucking does my head in.
Yeah.
Like you said, Josh, the more he poses, the more it's like there's holes in his physique that become evident. And then when you've got him in a lineup like you do at the Olympia, they're just exposed so much more.
Yeah. I also don't know if I think Andrew has Mr. Olympia qualities, like you both said, but
Yeah.
I also don't think his personality is there to be a Mr. Olympia. Like he's just so like, I mean, behind his persona, I should say, like behind closed doors, he might be completely different, but how he is to the public, I don't think he's someone that they would want as a Mr. Olympia. Like he
How
just
much
seems
do you think
fucking
that weighs
great.
into it?
Pardon?
How much do you think that weighs into it?
I don't know. Does it? Like
0%.
it's hard because, yeah, I don't think it does. Like I would like to say it wouldn't, and I don't think it does. I mean, yeah, I would say zero.
That's why I say 0, because I'm like, I hope it doesn't. It might though.
Yeah.
You're right. It could be
Well,
like,
look,
I don't think it does, but you know, subconsciously, I do think the judges have kind of got to be thinking like, you know, like if they're hearing him at the press conference and him being the way he is, and he's just a bit moody and stuff. I'm like, I mean, like your human brain is a human brain. Like you're obviously going to have your own favoritism to things, and when you have like someone like Samson who's the only one to take his clothes off at the press conference and be confident and like challenge the
I don't
others
think we've
and
had
have
anyone like
massive
Samson.
like
I don't
pardon?
think we've had anyone like Samson for
Like,
years.
someone that who has a real life personality. Like as far as I'm concerned, there's been Mr. Olympias in the last few years that have what comes across to me as a very fake personality. Like that's just the way I see things. But I see Samson as someone who's so genuine. Like you can't not like him, you know.
But like to me,
And I just
Derek didn't have that persona to be Mr. Olympia either.
I don't really think it matters. I mean, look, maybe I say that because I'm a pretty quietly spoken person, but I'm like, I don't think you need to be this fucking like massive
I don't
social
think so.
media personality or you need to be this like super funny, super charismatic individual. Like, I just think it's a bodybuilding contest. And at the end of the day, bodybuilding will attract a lot of people that are very quiet and keep to themselves. So you're going to have people winning shows that just fucking would prefer to keep their mouth shut.
I'm talking as like a representative of our sport. Like you are the one that is displaying what we are. You're our poster boy. For me, there hasn't been one like Samson. Maybe Phil early on, maybe, but probably not since Jay.
Yeah,
I like Phil's attitude, like in a way, because it's fucking badass.
I think Phil got cast into his role though. Like after Generation Iron, they made him out to be this prick. He's the bad guy, and Kai Green is the good guy that we all want to win. And then from there, he was just in the role of I'm the fucking dream killer, and it was fucking boss.
Yeah, it's cool.
Because I think everyone hated him up to that, and he was just like, "Well, if you're gonna fucking hate me, I'm gonna give you a reason to hate me," you know?
Yeah, he fed into that that stereotype
And he
quite
did it
well.
well.
Yeah, 100%.
What I'm saying, Tom, is like I know you don't have to be this outspoken person, but you can't tell me like you're quiet, like I think most of us are, but like to an extent. But like if you're top 5 in the world and you're at a fucking press conference and you're given the microphone, you're going to speak. Especially if you should be fucking confident when you're sitting up there. You're top 5 in the world. You should be confident. Like you should be bringing something to be confident about. If Bob gave you the mic when you're up on that that panel, you're gonna speak a little bit.
No, I agree.
Whether it's to run your mouth or say something very, very positive, like it doesn't matter. Like if like just to kind of like shrug every conversation
but
off.
also just understand that you have a responsibility to entertain to a point. And if you are like fucking top 10 in the world and you're at that press conference and you're given the mic, just you don't even have to believe what you're saying. You might just slag a couple of the other competitors off. Like, well, they all know that your mate's backstage and like you might be talking shit to them in this capacity, but then backstage you're having a laugh. Like it's all part of the fun and games.
But like, Nick's good at that.
Yeah, Nick's great at it.
I think if Nick was at that press conference, he would have taken his kit off.
Yeah, he probably would.
The rest of them were just a bit too bland.
Yeah. It's like all the bikini girls were really nice to each other. And I was like, oh. Like the two wellness girls, Issa and Francielle, were going back and forth at each other.
I know. That was like the most entertaining part of the press conference.
So funny. Yeah, me and May were sitting there pissing ourselves because they were just going back and forth against each other. Like, and it was like they were ruthless.
Are they mates or not really?
Yeah, to some extent.
Because they've had a pretty fucking good rivalry.
Yeah. I think they've had rivalry since their first pro shows.
Shit.
Well, I was happy that Issa won.
Yeah, I like Issa as well.
No.
But Francielle came. I was like, "Fuck, she's pretty incredible." I think Francielle had too much balance this year.
Yeah,
like her upper body had come up so much where she just looked balanced almost now. You know,
Ruby was showing me some comparisons, and Ruby was pretty much saying that Francielle posed herself out of the win.
Probably.
For someone that is usually flawless on her posing, like if you looked at this year to like even the Arnolds, her posing was just off ever so slightly.
Yeah, I left that prejudging just before. I think they did the first call out and then I left. So I wanted to see if Danae made it into first call out.
She looked great.
She always looks good. I love her physique.
Yeah.
It's just the prerequisite is that you have to be South American to be in that top 5. Although, hang on. Last few years, there was that Canadian chick that was in the top 5. So I take that back. But
I say I was right about Raphael and those fucking mirror selfies. He's
so nice in real life, though.
Huh?
So nice in real life.
I'm sure he's a lovely guy.
He's fucking massive.
But he was looking like he's fucking just doubled in size in those mirror selfies, and he looked the same as the Arnolds.
It's the Dragon's Lair mirrors, mate.
Fuck me, man.
Well, his growth has been very like slow and steady over the past like 3 or 4 years. He's never like rocked up at a show and blown us away, because every time it's like, or every year it's like that little bit better. Yeah, so I was taking that with a grain of salt as well. I could never see.
To be fair, he did get 10th last year at the Olympia, and he got what was it 8th this year? So he's moving up.
Oh yeah, he's moving up, but he's never like, yeah. I mean,
no, he's never had like the holy fuck season.
It was a pretty fucking stacked lineup too. Like 8th in this lineup is very, very good. I mean, a former Mr. Olympia in Brandon who was 9th, and he wasn't exactly like horrible for his standards. He was just like, it's unfortunate in a way for him, but when he won it, it was just a pretty poor lineup by Olympia level standards anyway. I don't know if you guys want to do the classic physique ratings or rankings today. We should do, yeah. Otherwise it'll become irrelevant if we do them in a week. Let's have a look, because I think actually I should get the placings up.
Places.
Fucking Ramon.
Shit. Why not put Wesley in third? I was
Fucking
born into like what I thought they would do.
Same. I did the same thing.
should have had Wesley lower.
Just don't, yeah.
Fourth.
I'm sorry, Wesley. I just don't like him.
What was
Oh,
Ramon?
nice. Ramon was fourth, so two
Fourth.
off. Urs was bang on.
Hers was third.
Jordy,
Yeah.
smartest thing. It's
What was Wesley? Seventh, so that's three.
eight. He was eight.
It was eight.
Yeah.
Ah,
Why is it not fucking giving me the top 10? It's only giving me the top 5. What is this?
three
Ben
on
was fifth.
fifth. Yeah.
Yep.
Jose, I got that one.
Nice. Mike was 5 off.
Fuck.
Justin was 6. No, 8. 6 off. Yeah, because he was 14th.
Carlos was well down.
Where was Carlos? Carlos might fuck you here.
Carlos just fucked me.
Hang on. Go on to Carlos and Jayhan, I think have seriously done you here.
Jahan was 12th.
No, was he?
Yeah. Jahan
Oh.
12th. Niall
That's
was
not too bad.
11th and Gregor was 10th.
Do we know where Carlos was? I think he was like 14th.
Okay,
it'd be
I'm trying to
it'd be 16th because he's not in the top 15.
Yeah.
So you'll give him 7 for that
Like that.
because he was basically last.
He was like the 10th, 16th guy.
Yep, 16 it is.
We'll take a
No,
16.
you've got to put a 10 next to Carlos. Oh wait, no, until 7. I've got you.
Yeah.
All right, Wesley, fucking 5 off.
5. There's 1.
Yeah.
Brion, you got.
Brioni.
Mike,
Yeah. Mike.
1.
1.
Justin,
Justin 6.
Pretty sure Mike the ball was 7th.
2. Yeah, Zabul was 7th. And Jay was 12th, so 2. Not too bad.
Fucking
I'm losing.
7, 8, and 4 is 12, 13, 21.
What was mine? 13, 15.
Sorry, 23 for me. I just miscalculated. Fuck, I only beat you by 3.
This is disappointing.
Yeah, well, Wesley was horrible. Fuck.
1.
1. My boy is dirty. I'm sorry, man.
I think I won. Yes.
4. What was Justin?
He was so it's 7. God damn it.
4. That's 2. Jay 2. Oh. What do we got? 7, 13.
25.
25. I still beat Jordy, yes. Carlos fucked you up there.
Fucking Carlos.
Look,
Fucking Carlos.
I'll be honest, I don't even know who he is.
I'm following
he's the
you.
guy with the glasses. He looks fucking good. Oh, it's so funny. I feel so bad for this, right? So we were in Dragon's Lair, and I was like, no, like it was just like I was looking around, and I was like staring at this guy, and he had like this massive beanie on, and I was like, oh, he must be competing this weekend. I was like, fuck, him wearing a bit much. And then I realized it was Mike, like had this massive beard because he's never had the beard before. Massive beard that like went down to here. Beanie was like fucking like covering his eyes like this. Wear a massive hoodie, so you could see like the eyes of his and this like absolute like his face was just like fucking like a skull at that point. And he was just like training around the gym, and I was like, man, like it took me ages to like realize who it was. And I like said hey to him in passing, and I was like he just seemed grumpy, and I was like, oh, whatever. But then I realized who it was, and I was like, and then when I was walking out of the gym, because he trains with his dad, obviously like who coaches him? Neil.
Yeah.
Like his dad had this like shot like hands on Mike's shoulder and like was like head to head when like Mike was about to do like a set and like fucking like kind of like almost yelling at him, but like speaking to him. They were like 2 days out at this point. I was like, fucking hell, that's a bit much. I was like, this is pretty crazy. What, like, he obviously got like what, sixth, seventh last year, and then he ended up getting seventh, second.
That's insane. Yeah, I was
Wow.
pissed. I was
I
devastated.
was
I
kind
didn't.
of looking. I was like, man, he's pretty locked in. I was like, this is pretty crazy. Like, I was like, this is. I mean, like, it was the kind of stuff that you think like someone that was fighting for like first place would be kind of doing, and I'm like, well, he ended up fighting for first place. So.
Yeah. Well, I was disappointed I didn't put him higher in my list because I've always been a big fan of his physique.
Yeah.
And I think what's thrown me off with him in the past is that he would post a lot of these Instagram pics and he would look fucking phenomenal. And then he would show up and still look good, but just not, he wouldn't add up. You know, it doesn't add up to those pics. But yeah, this year, fucking hell, he was so impressive. And the way that he presented himself on stage, his posing is so clean. He was not he was not overawed one bit by the fact that he was pushing Chris for that first place, and that was like it was really cool to see how composed he was.
Yeah, he didn't get.
And I remember even the commentators were saying because Chris went and hit his twisting back double, and the commentators were like, "Oh, like don't hit the same pose as Chris." And he hit it, and it looked fucking good. And then they were like, "Actually, you know what? He looks pretty good in this pose too."
Yeah, when he hit that, I was like, "Oh, that's a bad idea." But like, it looked good, but it didn't look as good as his front lap. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
was like, I was like, he shouldn't have copied him. But that's just because I was like, that's such a strong pose for Chris. I was like, don't do that. Don't do that.
yeah, bad
But
idea. Like front lap was still. I mean, they both have really cool front lap spreads, to be fair. But it was just so entertaining watching Chris actually be pushed for once.
yeah, it was, man. It was fucking crazy. Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was fucking
How
good.
was it? How was it being there when he announced his retirement?
I was in tears when he won. Like for me, it's like I know everyone loves Chris, obviously, and like it's pretty cool because I've followed him since 2016. So when he won Toronto to qualify for the Olympia. No, he turned pro. Did he turn pro in 2016 and qualified in 2017 for the 17 Olympia? And and so it's like been pretty cool to see the whole thing. So when he won, because I wasn't sure, like I messaged Nay because she was closer than me, obviously, and I was like, yeah, like please tell me that Chris has got this. Like I'm fucking shitting my pants right now. And she just responds with, I don't know. I'm like, don't do that. Like I was shitting my pants. And obviously he won. So I was like, fuck yeah. Like I was just like, it was just like I was like release of emotions. And I said to Maya last year about like coming to this Olympia because I had a feeling he was going to retire on six because of the whole like Jordan thing. And I'm glad he did. I kind of wanted him to because he's kind of fucking got everything he needs, you know? Like it's just awesome. Like retire like on top, like you can't ask for any more than that, I don't think. And like to have the kind of self-awareness to like be able to do it is like just it's fucking impressive, you know? It's easy to keep being like, no, I can get better and better. I want more and more. Um, so yeah, it was fucking cool. Like it was emotional. It's fucking awesome.
Chris has to be the only like a consecutive Olympia winner that I can think of that people haven't like gotten over and wanted to lose. Like
Yeah,
only got to that point towards the end where people are just like, fuck, I want Jay to win. And
yeah,
then Jay got to that point where like when he lost to Dexter, people were like over the moon.
yeah,
Phil got to that point early in,
Well,
but
yeah.
Chris has gone six straight and everyone's like, you could go to 10, bro. We'll still be happy.
well, look,
Tom's
I'll be honest. I was a bit of an outlier here because I was basically like, I kind of want him to lose. But the caveat to that was that if he was going to retire, I was actually hoping that he would win. So I was like, if he's going to keep going on, I want him to fucking lose. I want something to happen here, you know? But yeah, the fact that that was last, I was like, oh, I'm actually so glad he won because he deserved it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, selfishly, just from a entertainment standpoint, I'm like, fucking someone else do something, you know?
But I'm such a fanboy like of Chris and
Yeah.
like have been for a long time. So it was really cool to see. Like it was pretty special, man. Like I feel very, very lucky that I got to see that, you know.
Well, no one knew that he was retiring, like apart
No.
from Courtney, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think obviously in family, I think.
But Ian didn't even know.
Yes, he did. He said on his Q&A that he knew.
Oh, I thought he was saying that. Oh, maybe I misinterpreted. I thought he was saying,
Someone said, were you told that Chris was retiring beforehand? And he said, I was, yeah.
oh, oh, okay. The way he made it seem when he did a video wrap up I think he was just like in the car post show, made it seem as though he didn't know, but yeah, maybe he did. I was gonna say that'd be weird, it'd be crazy if you didn't know. Imagine keeping that secret from like your whole family. But
I
yeah,
wonder if he told the officials beforehand. I can't imagine he would. He doesn't seem like that type of person.
I don't think he would.
and he had the balls to fucking create a pre-workout of 6 feet. That was probably in the works months and months before the actual Olympia.
Yeah, they would have fucking had that sorted.
Yeah,
That's funny.
imagine producing like 100,000 units of that and then having to chuck that in the bin.
Do you think if he had have lost, he would have just still retired?
Yeah.
I think he would have. Which it would have kind of sucked because, like, yeah, I think it would have kind of been a bit shittier if that happened.
Yeah.
Because they're having a baby and stuff, right?
He's already had a baby.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I don't.
Like a year ago.
You can see that I'm not your stereotypical C-bum fanboy. Josh would definitely know this stuff, and I do not. I don't know if you guys want to do like questions. We've got a whole bunch of questions that I screenshotted from last week.
Yeah, sure.
A lot. We'll go through most of them. The first question is, did any of you expect Dowder to win? I don't know if this guy's a long-time viewer of the podcast, but he's obviously not because
Clearly isn't a fan of ours.
yeah, clearly this is his first rodeo. Will Harney take on a new classic physique client now that C-Bum is retired?
Doubt it.
Well, that's what I mean. There was a few comments suggesting that Ramon will try and go to Harney because they dropped the ball last time, but I don't see it personally.
Yeah.
Can we see a body?
I don't see Honey taking on anyone that he can't like fully brand and will fit his like the Evogen, and I think Honey has a very specific person he likes to work with. And I don't think Ramon fits that.
No. The only people I can think of already have coaches that I'm sure they're happy with.
Yeah.
Can we see an open bodybuilder from Australia qualifying for the Olympia? No.
Not
right now. Oh
no, like in 2025.
No.
Oh no.
No, I don't think so.
Australia's best men's.
Well, maybe.
Who?
Cam George could, if we include 12.
Yeah.
Is that open? Yeah, but I would count Cam.
Sure. Actually, well, to be fair, the question just says bodybuilder, so I would.
Well, yeah, Cam and Top.
No, the bodybuilder.
Yeah,
classic.
Okay, whatever. Well, the next question is Australia's best men's classic physique.
Who is it?
Yeah.
Tom and Jackson.
Well, statistically speaking, Matt is probably the highest ranking because he was third at a pro show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of ceiling, I think E-Man and Jackson, and I'll throw myself into that.
That's a good trio. Actually, I agree with that. I always forget about E-Man. He's so quiet, man.
He's gonna hurt some feelings, I reckon.
How many weeks is he actually? Just to shout him out.
Fuck, I think isn't it?
It's got to be close.
It's I think 2 or 3. He's still laying bricks, the cunt, and I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you? That's wild.
Man. I think he's gonna hurt some.
So what shows is E-Man doing?
I don't know if I'm supposed to say. Is it well known, Josh?
I don't know.
I might just keep.
I was told because of you, but I don't know if it's public knowledge.
I don't know if it's public knowledge, so I might just keep it
How
quiet.
low can you keep it? It's 2 weeks out.
Yeah, true. Well, that narrows it down, so it's pretty obvious.
Romania.
No, it's closer to Australia, but he might be doing a European show as well, which is potentially Spain. But I'll let him come out side that one.
Well, then who else? I know there's a few other. I know Mike Halusi is doing Romania and Prague.
What about? I forgot Mike was doing that.
Yeah, and Big Dave is doing the amateur pro qualifier in Romania.
Yeah, Fidel.
That's all I
He'll
know.
probably jump into the Open if into the Pro Show if he
Yeah,
wins
I
amateur. Hey,
I think that's his plan if he wins it there and then just jumps straight in.
we'll do a Rubiel because that's what Rubiel did last year.
Yeah. Well, Martin's jumping into Prague
Prague, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
against Rubiel, but I think we're all in agreement there with Martin taking that.
Yeah.
So who's going to fill the number one spot for Classic? I don't think there's going to be a name that'll come in and fill it for the next. Like, no one's going to have a legacy like Chris, in my opinion.
I think it's going to be a bit of a hot potato for a few years.
I can see Ramon, Mike, or Urs winning it next year. I'd be
I'll put my money on Ramon not winning one.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon
he's going to be a Kevin situation.
Yeah, I think Mike and Urs will like hot potato it, and then Joe Sema, whatever his thingo, I think he's the next one that can win a couple back to back because bro, he's 21.
He's 22 now, but yeah, he doesn't have any quad sweep though.
Okay, but like he could build that in 4 years.
Yeah, but how close is he to his weight cut? That's what
I don't know. That I don't know.
He came down from open bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I can see him going back up to open bodybuilding in the next 3-4 years.
I think that Matt guy will go up.
I don't think Matt Gregor is classic at all.
No.
I think he muscles his way into the top 10.
Yeah.
I think a bit of a smoky would be Niall.
Yeah, I think Niall's going to be... I don't think he'll win one, but I think he'll be up there.
Yeah.
And I think Justin will be up there. I'll bet all my money on Justin being in that top 3 to 4 to 5 in the next few years.
Yeah. Yep.
I think he's strong.
What is your... No, we've already answered that one. Between Tom, Josh, and Jordy, who would die first on a deserted island? Whoever's the leanest at the point.
Unless Jordy is still shredded.
Huh?
Unless Jordy is still shredded, then it's probably you.
Yeah.
You know what's fucked, right? Okay. So like I tried so hard. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been so perfect coming out of this show. Like I can still count the individual meals I have had. I've stuck to 1 meal off plan a week. And like even when I have that meal off plan, like I'll drop 2 meals out of my day to fit in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm still doing 15,000 steps a day, fucking doing everything. Motherfucker, as soon as Clen went out and GH went in, like only 2 IU. Motherfucker, my weight has not stopped climbing. And it's fucking doing my head in. I'm back at 102.5 kilo.
You're pretty heavier than me at the moment.
Bro, it's happened in like 2.5 weeks that I've put on 7 kilos.
Heavier than
Have
me.
you added that 2.5 weeks?
Bro, this is what I mean. I'm not even eating anything.
Do you have shredded glutes still?
There's very subtle lines. I like by no means do I look fat anywhere.
Aren't you eating like 4,000 or 5,000 calories?
I'm on 600 grams of carbs, 60 grams of fat, and 300 protein. Like, what's that? 4,000 calories?
Still a decent amount.
Like, it's a decent amount, but I'm like, fuck, man. I tried so hard to like keep the weight down. And it's such a head fuck in the morning. Like, I'll move the scales 15 times. I'm like, I'm not that heavy. I'm not that heavy.
Yeah, I mean, you don't look particularly moon-faced at the moment.
That's what I mean. It's just honestly, as soon as Clen went out, the scales just
Do you
straight
keep
up.
it in after prep for a while, do you?
Well, for like 3 weeks, just while we like titrate everything down.
Yeah, okay.
But then as soon as the change up, it's fucked my head, man. So I'm like, I should just eat everything now. Because like I have this guilt.
Order McDonald's right now.
Huh?
Order McDonald's for lunch right now. What's it, 12 o'clock at your place?
Yeah, it legit is. But like I've got this such a guilty feeling about eating off plan. Like, because I don't want to fuck this up. And then my weight keeps doing this, and I'm like, well, I should just be a fat cunt.
You're like, I might as well have just replaced this 4,000 calories with Macca's.
Honestly, man. Anyway, that's my issue at the moment.
That's your rant.
Yeah, that's my
Well,
rant.
I'm 101 and I'm only eating 2,500 calories from today for the next 2 weeks, and then we growing
You do a
again.
mini.
Yeah, it's a very, very brief mini cut. We've already started escalating things back up, but yeah.
What was your food at before the cut started?
Oh, so my maintenance ish or like bridging phase calories were like 3.7, 3.8.
Yep.
And then we pulled out like 800, 900 calories in the first phase of the mini cut down to like 3,000. And then he pulled out another 400 or so, another 50 grams of carbs gone. So 2.5 ish at the moment. But we'll only do that for 2 weeks, I'd say. And one of the days, actually, I still have a high day where I can have like a free meal and it's like 3,500 calories. So there's still like enough flexibility there to support my off-season ventures. This person's like, Wesley Vissers deserved the higher placing. No, in fact, I think he probably was lucky to be in the top 10, to be honest.
Whoever this is, you are.
That's another one that people. No disrespect to that person, by the way, but this is another person who.
Whoever said that, you're smoking crack.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He did follow it up with a question mark. So I don't know if he's just asking us or if that's his opinion.
Oh, that's different. No.
We'll give you the benefit.
Absolutely not. And if you are telling us, if you're telling us that he deserved a high place, yeah, like Jordy said, just smoking crack.
Yeah. The same people that think Wesley deserved the higher placing are the same people that think Andrew's winning the Mr. Olympia.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same type of people.
Yes.
Yeah. Wesley's copping so much flack at the moment because of like all the shit he was talking. Like his YouTube video, he changed the intro of it. Like he cut Bob's voice apparently of like, and the new like Mr. Olympia champion is, and then he did like Wesley is cut over it. So he cut them two cuts together. So everyone, because he's doing that the whole prep, like he's copping so much shit apparently.
As he should.
Yeah, like, that's pretty rough.
I'm all for being confident and saying what you think you can achieve and what you're aiming for. But that's just ludicrous.
It's wild.
What was the next question here? Brightest bodybuilding talent across all three categories in Australia. Let's just say bodybuilding talent. I'm going to say Chris.
What? Oh, Bella.
Yeah.
We can go for each one.
Who else is there in bodybuilding?
We already spoke about classic.
No, yeah. But brightest talents like isn't up and coming. Not already pros.
That's true. That's true. Josh Birch.
I'll take
there's a few. There's a lot.
Are we talking about bodybuilding now or classic?
Fuck, there's just a lot. It's such a vague question. We could go through about 10.
But who's there in bodybuilding? Like besides,
I was talking to Brett at the Olympia, and he was saying like it's pretty impressive how well like us Aussies are doing in shows like the amateur like Vegas shows. Like all of the Australian people that went over were in the mix, man. Like Brett was. It was like Brett was kind of like, this is what I keep telling everyone, like go overseas, like we're fucking good, you know, like we have a deep pool of talent. Like there's just a small group of us, but like a lot of us are like really fucking good, you know. And when we go overseas, it shows that, you know.
So I hear that there's talk about an Aussie amateur O.
Yeah.
Potentially. Now, as much as I would love that, because, you know,
Jordy, what if you and me did the same show and then we both won pro cards?
Ideally, yes.
But I beat you and won the overall.
You know what? Have it. Because I'm the coach.
That's true. It doesn't matter at that point. It doesn't matter at that point, does it?
No. What I was going to say was, if there's 3 pro cards given away, as much as we have a deep pool, do we have that deep of a pool to have an amateur O? Like, or a week all the pro cards in one season and then you've got no amateur Aussies left?
The thing is, it would have to gain. I mean, this is from like, I can't speak on the technical business side of things. From an outside view, I assume that it would have to drive enough of an international audience, like in terms of competitors coming over from other countries, to for it to work really well. Like it would have to be like a good bunch, I would say, you know?
But
Yeah,
like,
spot
where
on.
would you place it in the year? You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to do it at the start of the year because the Arnolds are on. So
I think
that's
it would have to
September-ish,
I think
late.
it would have to replace season C.
do
Yeah.
we know when the Olympia is next year? Do we have
I
dates?
think they're probably I think they're moving it back to September.
September. That's what I thought.
Oh
I had a
shit.
feeling they would, yeah. Because they've moved
That
it
was
for
when
every year since COVID. Yeah.
yeah.
So like even with season C for next year, that's an early season C now again,
Unless it's after.
unless it's after. Unless they do a
It might,
smaller, like, do
it
they do,
might have to be if they're moving the Olympia early again.
well, I know they'd want to have shows for Aussies to go over and do the amateur. So I'm sure that they will have a pro
Something.
qualifier still.
Really? That's what season B might be for.
But no, that's Natty show.
That's the Natty show.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard.
Unless
Without going too far down a rabbit hole, I think what Josh said is correct. I think there would have to be enough of a draw card or enough of a realistic opportunity for overseas competitors to come in because strictly speaking, yes, we have a lot of good quality talent, but I think you're right, Jordy. Like after like 2-3 years, like a lot of that talent might be drained and they might already be all be pros, and then we're handing out pro cards to mid
like I think every year we've got like 2 to 3 good like top level guys in each category.
Hmm.
But then outside of that, I don't think there's a lot of like pro worthy physiques. But like this is just talking about the Aussies. Obviously, with an amateur O, you've got international competitors coming across, and us being so close to Asia, you'd get a lot of the Asian competitors coming across, as we do for the Japanese amateur
Yeah.
O. But yeah, it's just interesting to think when they'd place it in the year, unless they did the season A like after the Arnolds, and you almost did it like April, May, season A.
Yeah,
And
but
that,
even then, like season A nationals was in the beginning of May this year.
yeah, so like keep
they'd have to they'd have to move it back. But back in the day when Australia had their Arnolds, that was season A.
It was March, but that was March. That was February, March.
yeah. So maybe you push it back to like the end of May, so that way you're
Yeah.
close to the Olympia, and then like you were saying, do if they were doing an amateur, of course, do it in the second half of the year after all of that.
I don't know how that used to work though. If it was in February, March, how the international competitors were able to qualify because there weren't any shows really beforehand to qualify. So they must have done a 12-month thing. Maybe you'd qualify within the previous 12 months of that show.
So
Yeah. Which makes more sense for me, but I think it's just
Say, like, I mean, myself have said this included. Like, it's why is it so hard to choose dates? But like, we're talking about this now, and it's fucking hard to like
yeah.
pick the right
yeah,
dates. So respect to the team that does it because they're
Yeah.
all over the world are like because it's fucking hard. Like, you got to figure all this shit out and figure out where it puzzles together and what's going to work and what's going to draw competitors and whatnot. So yeah, it's fucking challenging.
yeah,
So I think we've all been guilty of being like, fuck, how hard is it to pick a date?
every
But
time,
it's fucking hard.
every time.
Anyway, I'm in Stuart right now. Do you guys know what's in Stuart? Jordy, you might know.
What's in Stuart
Stuart Little.
besides Disney
Oh, no,
World?
Orlando is in Disney's in Orlando. I'm in Stuart, so I'm going to the Raw gym tomorrow, and I'm going to go to the Revive gym on Thursday.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah, I'm fucking
fucking
keen.
vibe.
Yeah, because we did our parks yesterday and Monday, and we were like, oh, I mean, like we were going to go to Miami today. We were supposed to go, but we didn't really like. There's nothing really care to do in Miami.
Yeah,
And we stopped by one of the gyms anyway, but we're legit like a 3-minute drive from Revive. And then we're like a 30-minute drive from the newish Raw gym. So we're going to do them.
That's cool.
Yeah, fucking excited. Might
What's
see
your
Martin.
Go give Matt a cuddle when you see him.
No, I think he's in Hawaii at the moment.
Oh, yeah, he
um?
needs.
What's been your favorite city so far, Josh?
Vegas. I say Vegas from a bodybuilding standpoint because it would be fucking cool to do a prep there.
Yeah, but all right. Let me reword this. If you could move to one of the cities that you visited, where could you see yourself living if you had to live in the US so far?
I've only been in Stuart a few hours and I love it here so far. It's kind of like it reminds me of Tom. Like it reminds me of like Bustleton.
Yeah, okay.
It really reminds
That's
me of
cool.
Bustleton. Like Stuart's like super quiet. Like it's very much like a more older people. It's by the sea. Like it's a really nice area. I like this fucking Airbnb is wicked. Like it's just in such a good spot. But other than that, I would probably pick Vegas just from a business and bodybuilding standpoint.
How would
Airbnb Airbnb looks about 4 times the size of the last one that you were in New York.
Bro, that New York one was so small, man. It was our kitchen. It was like our kitchen and then our bed. And then the toilet was inside in the hallway.
Oh, it's
And
probably
it
still
was so
bigger than
strange, man.
the places I stayed at in Japan.
Yeah,
That's
probably
fun.
about the same size actually. It was tiny.
Yeah.
how
New
was New?
York was good, but
Yeah,
gone.
yeah, go on.
Yeah, New York was good. It was like it's hard, like you expect so much of it because of what you see, but like and like a lot of it lived up, especially like the main like parts. Like you go to like the lookout areas where you can see like the whole city. Like it's pretty fucking spectacular. Like it's a massive city. Um and like it was cool going to like Times Square at nighttime. I'll probably never go again. Like it's fucking chaos. It's just absurd. Like it's like the center of surfers paradise if they were on like if it was on like fucking a gram of trend. Like it's absurd. Like and you just around this it's fucked. Like the screens everywhere, like it's super overwhelming. But it's really cool because like I've wanted to I'm a Spider-Man nerd. So I'm going to places being like, fuck yeah, that was from Spider-Man, fuck yeah, that was from Spider-Man. And like so like there's cool parts like that, but like the city in itself is it's pretty dirty. Like there's a lot of homeless as well. But like me and Maya definitely warmed up to it. Like the longer we were there, like it was nice. You know, we've got a routine. You'd go out in the morning, get a coffee, like have a walk around. Like it was really, really good. The food's great as well.
Did you go to Central Park?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
It was pretty cool. It
What
was
was the
pretty cool.
best food, Jade? Give me a
But
rundown. What was the food like? Hit me with a list.
in New York,
Yeah,
the bagels are so good, bro.
yeah.
It's like everyone
What's so
goes
good
on about
about
the
the bagel though?
fucking good, man. Like I was getting like you like Reuben sandwiches,
Yeah,
bro. Like it's next level.
really.
Yeah, man, it's fucking good.
What was the pizza like? Like those big fuck off pieces.
It tasted really good.
Yeah.
I
Because you're not
thought
really
like
a pizza guy, are you, Josh?
I like pizza, yeah,
Fuck, I love
but I
pizza.
wouldn't eat it like all the time. But like, so we went to the Joe's Pizza, which is like the one obviously from fucking Spider-Man, and like the one a lot of people go to. So like you pay by the slice. It's like $5 a slice or something.
Yeah.
And I kind of
How
expected it
big
to
are
be
we
like
talking?
I'll send you I thought I put a picture on Instagram. Like you compare it to my
I
head,
saw.
it's pretty fucking
You know, I'll probably stand at it for a while.
like I'll send you
About the
this one. I'll
same
put it.
size as his head.
Yeah, I put it in the chat of this one of like the like Mayor eating the pizza. Have a look at that.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
pretty fucking big.
it looks so like simple and effective. Just it's like that's
It
basically a
was.
margarita, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was a margarita with some cheese on it. But like it was fucking like, bro, I was expecting this shit to be like super greasy. It was really good.
It didn't look does not look greasy at all.
It wasn't greasy at all. It was
But
fucking good, man.
it's good when the base right into the middle of the base is not soggy.
Yeah,
Oh, fuck, I'm
good
hungry
man.
now.
Good pizza.
Cheesecake Factory in Vegas.
Good but overrated. Like it's just a lot of food.
Yeah. Which
And
is
it's a lot of food and it's like you can get fucking everything there.
Oh,
which,
can
The brown bread that you order for
oh, bro, how
Starbucks,
good is that brown bread?
that brown bread is fucking good, man. That is like I could eat that shit. Like if I was only going to the Cheesecake Factory for some cheesecake and brown bread, I'd be going there.
what is brown bread?
Legit
What do
just
you mean? What is brown bread. It's brown. This bread that's brown, bro.
Is it just wholemeal bread?
Yeah, I think so.
But it comes out warm.
Yeah, it comes up. Have you had it, Jordy?
Yeah, when I went to Hawaii.
It's good.
So it's not cornbread.
No, it's fucking brown bread.
Brown.
Why would that be better than white bread?
I'm telling you, man.
It's
Makes
like
up.
it's sweet.
Yeah.
Man, I had this
You
shit.
know, okay. You know
Yeah,
the dinner
I
rolls
love
that you
bread.
can get. You know the dinner rolls that you can get from Coles,
Oh man, they slap.
but it's like that, but like 10 times better.
Yeah.
And they're so good, bro.
Yeah. Okay. I like bread. So
I like bread.
bread
I
is
like it that much. I don't know what
bread
brown
is
bread is.
bread is probably one of my favorite things. Like people like Ian is like, what the fuck's so good about pizza? Well, I'm like, well, it's bread for one, which is
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal,
Pizza.
and then you got cheese on it, which is also phenomenal. Like, what do you mean? What's good about pizza? Literally fucking everything. Anyway,
We've tried like. God,
sorry, I'm going to wrap it up in like 5. I'm going to jump off soon, if that's all
that's
right.
cool.
Yeah.
That's right. So catch up next time. Next week, or yeah, we'll do next week.
Whatever works.
Whatever
When
works for you, Josh. You're the fucking holiday.
Yeah,
I've got a week and a half left. I'll be back. I'll be back like Australia time 2 weeks from today.
Shit, you still got ages to go.
Yeah, we got 2 nights here. Then we go to Miami for a night before we fly out to San Fran on Friday. Then we're in San Fran for a few days, or in LA for the rest of the time.
Yeah, that's sick.
So, yeah.
All right, well, we'll tee up probably next week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. Done deal. Thanks for that, boys. It was good. I missed it.
Pleasure.
All right,
Speak to you
guys.
soon.
Bye.
Love you all.
Bye.